so welcome back to part two of the time a nurse I work with tried to get me fired, but she ended up getting fired instead. If you haven't seen part one, I'll link it below. Okay, so after the CPR issue where I felt she was leaving me out of the CPR class for a second time, I was so pissed. I was really mad to the point where I started looking for the number to call corporate HR to file a complaint because at this point I felt like she was discriminating against me, right? But after I went home, I let it go and I went home and I thought about it. I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm not even going to waste my time to even do any of that. And if you're asking why didn't I go to the office and complain, they are already aware of the issue and she's still there and they're not doing nothing about it. Okay. And rumors has it is they have tried to fire her or they wanted to fire her. These are alleged. I don't know that. This is just rumors that they did want to fire her, but they couldn't fire her because they didn't hire her. The facility did not hire her. HR hired her. I mean, not HR, corporate hired her. So because of that little loophole, they couldn't fire her, right? But there were rumors that they wanted to get rid of her. Anyway, right? Before I got to the part where she got fired or how she got fired. So remember I said she's a facility educator and she's always complaining about me to to my unit manager or to the director of nursing. So it's not just me who she complained about. She complained about everything and everyone in the building. And for whatever reason, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but one day we went to work, we got called into a meeting. And in this meeting with the director, nurse, the administrator, they were basically saying that Kathy's position as the facility educator is going to be switched with the unit manager position, my unit manager on my unit. So they're going to be switching positions. And I'm like, oh, shit. So now I'm like, okay, this is not good because if they switch roles, then Kathy is going to be my direct supervisor. I'm going to have to report to her directly every single day, 5 days a week, every day. And that's not going to be good. And so I was really, really mad about that. And to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to ask to be switched to a different unit because I don't think I could work under her because if I do, most likely she's going to figure out a way to fire me. But in the end, being a nice person that I am, I decided to just stick it out and see how she does and not make a big deal about it. Just go to work and do my job and stay out her way. Right. So the switch eventually happened and she's not my supervisor. And she apparently complained to the office, to her manager, that the whole unit, no one is nice to her. Like they're also rude to her, they're also mean to her, except for one person. Do you want to know who that one person is? Me. They weren't like outright disrespectful to her. Well, maybe a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, they were a little bit rude to her. But if she said something to them, the nurses, the staff on that unit, they would just basically be like, okay, okay. Anything she says to them, she just like they're like, okay, and go about their day. They don't sit and chit chat with her. They just okay her to death and move on with their day. Unless it's something like critical, they're like, no, that's not how that works. We're not gonna do it that way, right? So now, and you know what? Now that I think about it, there was an episode where there's a lady from corporate who actually came into the facility, and I got called into like a one-on-one with this lady, and she was just saying, "Oh, we're just here to see how things are going, have a little bit of questions here and there," and she was asking like random questions, like, not random, but general questions. But then the questions started changing, where they were very specific to a specific person, and I realized that HR was specifically asking me questions about her, and I think she at one point asked me, do I think she's racist? And I wanted to tell her yes. But the thing is, she wasn't racist. Like, yeah, she was white and I'm black, but she never, to me, she never gave racist. Like, if she was racist, it would have made sense as to why she was picking on me. But honestly, it never gave that this white lady was being racist. So I honestly couldn't even tell HR, like, yeah, I think she's racist, because then I think I'd be lying. So I had to be like, no, I don't think she's racist. I wish I knew what her issue was with me, but it's definitely not because of my color. It's most likely because I'm an LPN and she's RN. But anyway, let's go to the day when she got fired, right? And let me just say this: I was not at work the day she got fired. Just that's gonna come back at the end. You're gonna understand why I'm telling you that I was not at work. The incident happened, and which led to her losing her job. All right, let's get that out of the way. All right, so the day the incident happened, apparently I came to work the next day and I was told yesterday, the day that I was off, that one of the nurses on my unit had a patient who needed to have their IV removed. So the patient had a PICC line IV and it was scheduled to be removed that day. The nurse who was assigned to that patient went to go take the IV line out and she felt like a snag and it wouldn't come out. So she stopped and she went and got Kathy because Kathy is the nurse supervisor on the unit manager. So she went and got her and she's an RN. And I believe the nurse was an LPN. Don't quote me on that because I don't recall. But anyway, she went to get Kathy. Kathy came, tried to take it out. It couldn't come out. Again, it was snagged. So she also stopped. But the thing that Kathy did differently was Kathy left the IV line hanging. She didn't protect it, didn't cover it up, didn't do any of that. And she left it to go get something. I don't know, she went to get supply or get whatever it is she went to go do. But she left the patient and she left the IV hanging out the patient's arm. Right? And if you understand about IV lines, it's high risk for infection. So you got to protect it at all costs with sterile dress to make sure it's protected. Anyway, the nurse who's assigned to that patient, because Kathy walked away from the patient, the nurse then left, went to get the director of nursing, which is Kathy's boss, all our boss, but also Kathy's direct person she directly report to. Went and got the director of nursing. Director of nursing comes see the patient with IV line hanging out, and was like, oh. And whatever conversation was had, and Kathy was pulled into the office, and Kathy, from that incident, got suspended for a couple of days. That suspension led to her being officially fired. All right? And remember, I said I was not at work. So when I came in the day after that happened, that's when I learned secondhand information of what happened. So that's the information that was told to me. And that was the weekday. Now come Saturday. With my weekend to work, I'm at work. The weekend nursing supervisor who only works the weekend, she comes in and she says to me, hey, why didn't you tell me that Kathy got fired? And I'm trying to think, why is she asking me about why Kathy got fired? You were the supervisor. Why would you need to ask me? Why would I need to come tell you? And you would understand why she's asking me specifically in a second, right? And I said, it's not my place to tell you that Kathy got fired. You're a supervisor. You should know this information. So she was like, no. So she said she came to work and there was an issue with the report from the day before that she had a question about. And since Kathy was a supervisor on this unit, she called Kathy at home this morning when she came to work on a Saturday and asked Kathy about the report. And Kathy, and that conversation told her that she no longer works there, that they fired her. And she went to question her, like, why did you get fired? And she told the nursing supervisor, so Kathy told the weekend nursing supervisor that there was an issue with my patient, me. There was an issue with my patient. She went to help the patient and somehow she led to her suspension and they fired her. And I said to the supervisor, like, it wasn't my patient. I said, I wasn't even at work. And even if I was at work, the patient that it happened to is not on my assignment. So even if I was at work, I would not even have been that patient's nurse. So there's no way. So this is what I'm saying. I'm telling you that I wasn't even at work. So even though I wasn't at work, she still somehow figured out a way to throw my name and blame me. So that's how she got fired. So I'm telling you guys, just be careful how you treat nurses. Someone said to me a long time ago, like, be careful how you treat a nurse because you never know that nurse you're treating badly today you could end up next month or 2 months on a new job and that nurse will be a manager. Always remember that. Treat your nurses well. Anyway, let me know if you had a similar issue or what you think about what happened. Let me know in the comments and make sure you follow. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.